Well, let's start with your recently released book. So it's A Revolution America, Communication Toolbox for the Modern Conservative American Woman, correct?
Absolutely.
Cool. Now, it's interesting to me that you're specifically calling out communication there in your subhead. So what are the messages that you think conservatives, especially women conservatives, need to communicate better?
Well, the book, Revolution America, is about us being the revolution. We are the revolution here in the United States of America, and specifically where we live, California. And what I've seen, of course, I am a woman, what I've seen with women is that we, as conservatives, sometimes we're quiet, we're reserved. And as we also notice, there are loud groups, mainly progressive left, who get a lot of the media attention and notice and notoriety in the press and otherwise. And conservative voices are rarely heard. So what I really wanted to do was to help women be more effective communicators, and specifically conservative women. I believe that when we communicate and we communicate more clearly in our home, in our community, and throughout the state, we will make an impact that will further the conservative cause. And that's what's most important to me.
And how do you actually make that happen? I mean, obviously there's organizational things that go into that, running for office as you're doing. But how do you begin to rally people that are either like-minded or maybe people that hold different perspectives on the political viewpoint? How do you rally those people to listen to what you have to say and to help kind of share your wisdom?
Well, women, conservative women in particular, I believe are seeing that other women who might be a little bit more liberal-minded or have different varying views might be posing conflicts in relationships and making that communication a bit rough. And so when I talk to other ladies, basically there's a cry out there. How can we better get along? How can I make my children, live in a better space where at school they're not coming into different struggles and kind of alleviating the conflict, if you will. And so what I believe that I've done is be able to have that conversation. And conversation is obviously very important in communication. So with women, with conservatives, I believe it's been really easy to tap into what's going to better our cause and help them be more effective communicators. And rallying around conservatism isn't hard for conservatives. What's difficult is changing the way we think, changing the way we approach others, changing the way we look at maybe ourselves and how we're relating to others, how we're relating to our children, our husbands, our community activist networks, ladies groups and what have you. Changing behaviors is what comes a little bit more hard. So, basically what I do in the book is I help women work through those different issues by evaluating the way they think, the way they approach different situations, and adjusting the way they look at themselves and the way they look at the world, and taking it step by step, and then it ripples out from there. So it's been a great experience working with women and helping them realize their potential. And from that, if I always came out of this space of writing this book and seeking God's work and what he wants for my life as if I can impact one woman and she can impact one woman and it ripples out from there, that's all that matters. And of course it's done much, much more than that for our communities. But
I got a funny story actually. Is a friend of mine, she works in an office with some people, and it's in Kansas. It's in a rural place. Well, Lawrence, Kansas, so it's kind of a little pocket of Kansas. But they were going to the office for 8 years, and kind of they were big Obama fans. And one woman,
as you know,
one woman who they thought the whole time for 8 years was an Obama fan. Finally, just a couple of weeks ago, kind of came out and said, you know what, we dealt with your president for 8 years, and now we have ours. So, kind of, wow, they never knew there was 8 years of tension at the office. And so, it kind of relates to what your book is, I guess, about kind of having a message and being able to work out situations like that. And
Communicating with others, sometimes people get so wrapped up in their own mind and in their own world, they forget that they're interacting with other people and impacting other individuals. And in the case of your friend, it sounds like everyone around her didn't realize what their environment from their viewpoint was doing to those around them who maybe didn't agree or lived in a different space or lived and had different principles and ideas about how the country should operate. And suddenly now she sounds like she's expressing very truthfully that, well, now we're in a different space. We have President Donald Trump, and it's my turn to be able to talk very positively. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I believe that we have to have these conversations. One of the reasons why we have divide is because of the inability for both sides to be able to communicate. And it's important to just keep trying and working on that.